So today, a member of the syndicate shared a pretty interesting video clip of Joe Walsh talking about how the record business as it used to be is pretty much dead. I mean, his exact quote was, "There's no more album sales, there's no more record sales. That part of the business is over." And he was kind of basically telling the truth, which I commend him for, and I think that's a great thing. But his attitude was also very bitter, in that his entire living, the way that he'd been making his income for all these years, was a traditional music method that worked, which was you record an album, you sell it to your fans, you go tour, everything is great. You have a great relationship with your fans. And of course, now with the industry and technology, things are changing. There's new ways of making music. Old ways of being profitable no longer work anymore because that worked for the other technological environment that musicians were in back then. And of course, he goes on to say that, music today just doesn't have that soul. It doesn't have that feel that it used to have. And, what I hear and all respect to Joe Walsh, he's a monster. He's an icon. This is no disrespect to him. But hearing, especially a guy in his, 50s, 60s, however old Joe is, talking about how music today just ain't what it used to be. This is what every single generation says about the next generation's version of music. Remember what they said about Elvis's music? That's not music. That's just noise. And oh, look at how sexual he's being with his hips. And oh gosh. And then remember Miley Cyrus came out. And oh my gosh, how could kids like that? And that's just terrible stuff. It's every generation does this. This is history repeating itself. But that's just an aside. More importantly, what I really want to get across to you is Joe's sort of bitter attitude he has about the industry changing. Now, you can feel however you want to feel about the industry, how it's been adapting and how it's been changing. Personally, myself, that's why I got into the TV film licensing industry, because I think that that's where the money's at these days. That's where the industry is headed. And that's where it's been heading for a while. But you can feel however you want to feel like. But being bitter about how the world is changing fast and how the old ways of doing business don't work anymore, does that bitterness help you at all? Like literally, does that, maybe it makes you feel good, I guess, in the short run when you're talking to your fellow buddies about it. But this is a problem in the music industry in general for musicians and producers, this bitterness that comes out about like, well, the industry's screwed up and it's, you can't even make a living anymore. Everybody wants to steal your music and stuff. Yeah, that's all true, right? Let's even grant you that. All of that's true. What is that doing for you? Just sitting there complaining about it, feeling bitter about it, feeling like you're getting left behind. Is that doing anything for you? So I say cut out the bitterness, try to get over that and instead be adaptive, because this is what I said to the syndicate members. The one thing that's consistent in life is change, right? The one thing you can count on every single day is that tomorrow will not be like today. And especially now where we are, in the history of humanity, where technology is growing at an exponential pace, you can only count on the fact that the technology and the industry are going to be changing faster every single year. So all the change you saw last year, expect double that change this year, et cetera, on and on and on we go. So if that makes you feel good to just kind of say, the music today just sucks and the industry sucks and you can't make money, okay, great. Enjoy whatever that's doing for yourself. As for me, the syndicate members, hopefully you, if you're following me, you're smarter than that. You're going to rise above that mindset. You're actually going to get into a place where, hey, if this is what the industry is and this is how it's changing, I'm going to have to adapt. I'm going to have to adjust my production skills or my style or my business approach or whatever it is to be able to succeed. And this goes across for everything in life, especially many of you right now who might be seeing, this thing coming called automation, where we're going to have robots taking over a lot of these manual labor jobs. If one of your jobs, your day job, is involved in manual labor, this might be something really coming down the line for you in the next 5-10 years or sooner. And so if you're going to sit there and just be like, these damn robots are coming to take all of our jobs, and that's all you can come up with, then you are going to be rendered obsolete, because there will be a robot that will come and take your position, do it better than you, do it cheaper than you. And meanwhile, you can sit there with your bitterness and hang on to that. If that's going to pay your bills, go for it. It probably isn't. So what I would say is just accept it. You got to accept the fact that the world is changing and things are coming at you at a faster pace. So you have to adapt. You have to, gain new knowledge, gain new skills, and really just It's more of a mindset change. You really just have to change the way that you view the world, that it's not what you grew up at. You know, the world that you had when you grew up, especially if you're one of the older students following me, it's definitely not what it was. If you're one of the younger ones, you're a little bit more easy. You can adapt to these kind of changes a little bit easier because your entire life you've been seeing the world and technology changing your entire life. So this is just normal for you. Older students, this might be a little bit harder. And obviously Joe Walsh in this clip that was shared with the group, obviously is having a hard time coping with the fact that the world is changing much faster than he's ready for. So just a word to the wise out there, for you guys out there that might be having some anxiety about the industry and have this bitterness that you hold on to, and you know when you get together with your musician friends, you guys just talk trash about the industry and other people or whatever. What is that doing for you? Really, just be honest with yourself. Is that doing anything for your career? If it's not, get rid of it, right? Just be able and willing and optimistic about being willing to change and adapt with the business. That'll ensure you have a much stronger chance of succeeding than everybody else out there who's just saying that today's music just ain't as good as it used to be.